Some bombshell news, guys. I am so happy right now. This is about as big of a blow to the Democratic deep state agenda as you can get. Everyone, I'm telling you, our newly confirmed Attorney General Pam Bondi just ordered the Justice Department to freeze all funding for sanctuary cities and has instructed attorneys to begin prosecuting officials preventing ICE from doing their job. Pam Bondi is behind this CIA buyout that we heard last night to clean out the deep state. Everyone from the USAID department is being put on leave indefinitely. This is rocking Congress like nobody's business, guys. I'm going to show you some videos today that the Democrats do not know what to do with themselves. We've also found out that USAID was funding Politico. Yes, the left-leaning, Trump-hating news outlet got taxpayer money to fuel propaganda. On top of that, Reuters got $9 million as well. Both of them around $9 million of taxpayer money. You cannot make this stuff up. That the Democrats use your taxpayer dollars to fuel their left-wing media hate of Donald Trump. And now they are exposed and Doge is canceling all those payments as we speak. There are Democrats right now that are trying to stage an impeachment of Donald Trump, that they say he is overstepping his executive authority. It sounds really cute that they think that they have a chance, but they don't have nowhere near the numbers they need, but they're still trying to get airtime away from Trump's agenda. They also are trying to do a government shutdown right now because we're approaching the debt ceiling. And this is going to be a real hit if they can pull over some of the left-leaning Republicans, also known as rhinos, in order to thwart Trump's plan to clean house and cut spending. There is so much breaking news today, guys. It's like Christmas right now for people that have wanted accountability for a long time. I want to say thank you to all of our viewers. I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you every day with the top news. Thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are so awesome. Thank you for your support. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description to join. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Elaine Demeen, thank you so much for your support. Y'all show Elaine some love in the chat. And if you don't mind, everybody, clicking the thumbs up like button, it really does help out the channel so much. Right now, Bondi's DOJ Day 1 directives are fighting weaponization of justice by cutting all of the federal funding to sanctuary cities and states, eliminating the cartels, and lifting the death penalty ban. She is not stopping, everybody. This is about one of the most boldest moves we have seen yet, and this is just the beginning. Check this out.
Else, you may. I'm pretty sure we're going to be first on this. But let me play, let me do this. Let me play John Kerry first. There's a story that broke yesterday about CIA officials and employees being offered buyouts, like a lot of them. And of course, the media freaked out again. What's Trump trying to do? This is crazy. Why would we be getting the CIA? Why would we be looking to get rid of some of these old school people? I mean, they've been right about everything. Winky, winky, nod, nod. I'm going to play this John Kerry clip, and I'll explain why I think these stories are related. Here is John Kerry speaking, by the way, for old school swampy Republicans too, who always said this. You will not do anything in the Middle East until you solve the Palestinian problem. Trump said, I'll try anyway. Check this out.
I can tell you that reaffirmed even in the last week as I have talked to leaders of the Arab community. There will be no advance and separate peace with the Arab world without the Palestinian process and Palestinian peace. Everybody needs to understand that. That is a hard reality.
Where is he? He's at the Brookings Institute, where a lot of the people involved in the Russia collusion hoax worked. You starting to put two and two together, folks? I'm going to say something here that may be mildly controversial, but we don't really care, do we? Having the 2020 election stolen from us was a horrible thing, but I think Donald Trump has turned that into a huge W.
Oh,
How?
yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. I am as serious as a freaking stroke right now. 2016 was a warm-up. I think the Trump team themselves would admit to you they were blindsided by the deep state reaction. I really would. They came in, Trump's 20, he did a lot. The first term was great. The tax cuts, Supreme Court justices, the Abraham Accords. We got a ton done. Regulatory reform, no doubt. No, zero doubt about that. We got it done in spite of a massive deep state reaction. Follow me here. But it was unquestionably a warm-up. They figured out after that 4 years exactly the levers of power and how to manipulate them in the right way. And they understood where the pushback was going to come. They knew where the little holes in the chainmail were in the armor, right? 2020 stolen. They do all of this stuff that gins up public support against the Democrats, stoke inflation, an open border. What could have been an apocalyptic moment for the United States where we may not have survived. Donald Trump comes back, rescues the country in an electoral rout. Every single swing state takes back the Senate, really this control of the Supreme Court, takes back, wins the House. Donald Trump comes in with a vengeance, with an FAFO attitude, and says, now, every single hole in the armor, in the little chainmail we saw, we are going to exploit now. And now he is on a warpath. How does this relate to this story? He is tired of the intelligence community lying about the collusion hoax, about the Hunter Biden laptop, about there's never going to be a solution to the Middle East, Mr. President. Just sit down and shut up like every other Republican and Democrat. So you know what he said? If you guys can't provide freaking intelligence, then get the hell out of here and I'll do it myself.
Let's go.
Want to see what happened? Play the clip from Jesse Waters' show last night. These stories are 100% related. You guys, he's saying to a lot of these, to not every single one of them, but to some intelligence folks out there who go, you guys have effed this thing up. I've given you a shot. It's Trump time now. Watch this.
CIA has reportedly just offered a buyout to its entire workforce. Everyone in the agencies telling employees late today they can quit their jobs and receive about 8 months of pay and benefits. It's a part of Trump's push to downsize the federal government.
Folks, the stories are, I'm absolutely certain the stories are related. Obviously, again, we use humor a lot and sarcasm to keep the show entertaining, but this is not an entertainment show. Hopefully it's educational entertainment, okay? He's not kidding around. The FAFO presidency is 100% a real thing. He has turned the 2020 thievery into the biggest W of all time, and we're only 2 weeks in. And I have been assured by people in the know that this is not going to stop.
Right. I told you guys.
You have 4 years. So I'm asking you this as I kind of get, because I got a ton of other stuff to get to. USAID, what's happening at the border. The winning is just, I'm serious, the winning is so overwhelming. These guys will tell you, we're not even, you don't want to see where we are in the show? Where are we in the show, guys? Elements. We're not into the first element. This stuff was added this morning. Bay. You don't like it? There's an easy way to not be in Guantanamo Bay. Don't enter the United States illegally. You doubt me? Here it is from the administration themselves. Check this out.
And I can also confirm that today, the first flights from the United States to Guantanamo Bay with illegal migrants are underway.
Yes.
Now, before I get to my next video here, Tom Homan, which is great. Governor Phil Murphy, liberal communist from New Jersey, thought he was going to play around. Hey, I think we're harboring an illegal. Tom Homan's like, really? We're going to come check that out. All of a sudden, Phil Murphy, governor of New Jersey, is changing his mind. Before I get to that, I want to get big picture again. Pull yourself out, bird's eye view here. Tie this back.
Guys, just want to say thank you so much for your support. We literally have almost 1,000 people watching. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, guys. I want you to show some love to my boy Jason Leseski in the chat, y'all. Thank you so much for your support.
To the Trump negotiating strategy I opened up with in the beginning of the show. Trump's negotiating strategy, which has been led to a series of wins we have not seen in a 2-week period, I think ever, is based on him dropping the maximalist position from the start. You don't want to unscrew the Middle East? We're coming in. We'll fix it for you. Okay? How does that tie to this? Because the thing about Trump's debating strategy and negotiating strategy, is a maximalist position only works, follow me here, is if sometimes you mean it. Because they don't know if you're always bluffing, no one's ever going to do anything, correct? So when Trump takes a maximalist position and gets no results from, say, Democrats, sometimes you got to follow through.
You got to follow through, guys. And this is what follow through looks like. When you see Bondi's DOJ, guys, day one, she was just sworn in. And she's fighting weaponization of justice, eliminating cartels, lifting the death penalty, guys. This is how powerful it is right here. Reported AG Pam Bondi just ordered the Justice Department to freeze all funding for sanctuary cities and has instructed attorneys to begin prosecuting officials preventing ICE from doing their job. Now that is what we're talking about. We got, you know what? I'm going to pull another source from the leading report. You know they're super reputable. AG Pam Bondi directs the DOJ to halt all federal funding, ordering the prosecution of any jurisdiction obstructing immigration enforcement. She's coming behind. She said, come on, Tom Homan, we're going to push these illegals out of here. We're going to have justice in America. And all these dang people that want to break the law, guess what? We'll get them too, guys. And what I love is not only are they fighting the front on the justice side, getting out all the illegal immigration, then you got my boy Bannon, who's working with internal Trump team, working on what needs to happen next with the debt ceiling, guys. This is huge. Check this out.
The mantra of the war room is that at 36 trillion and adding $1 trillion every couple 100 days or so, and having deficits still annually at $2 trillion in perpetuity, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is as far as the eye can see. He's saying it's not sustainable. Plus, he gets to the point in having to refinance that. He gets down to it, having to refinance that, a third of it essentially every year at higher and higher rates, because that's what's happening, that you're embedding inflation that you can only take away when you cut the deficits. We're not talking about, in your lifetime, the lived experience of this audience, we will not get to ever taking off $1 the principal amount of the debt. It won't happen. The struggle now, even Elon Musk went for $2 trillion off the 6.5 now to now $1 trillion off. And I'm not faulting him. I think he's understanding it's a lot more complicated. It's not like a company. And this is my point about the OMB, where the money was I think shocked everybody that, wow, it's everywhere. Head Start, Meals on Wheels, in every congressional district, they were getting blown up down at Doral. This is why President Trump retracted the memo, but remember, not the content of the memo, which was slow down payments. And it shows you everywhere. It also shows you the complexity of Medicaid. Medicaid, you would think Medicaid and Defense Department be the two you look at. Medicaid ain't so easy, because since corporations haven't been paying anybody and not picking up health care, Medicaid's in there. It's going to MAGA, particularly working class Americans. That's just a reality you have to face. So with all that, it gets down to Elon then cuts to $1 trillion starting next year, and what he's going to do is identify $4 billion a day between now and October 1st, the new fiscal year, to identify and kick in. And my point is, I got that. But right now, I know you're doing the line diagram, but this weekend, sit down and just round up to the nearest 100 billion. Mm-hmm. You do this in restructurings all the time. You're not going to get to the fifth decimal place. You don't need to get to the fifth decimal place. The thing's so big and out of control, and this is what's out of control, is the spending. And it's the system. Elon is out. Like I was a junior officer on a Navy ship. You have to, what's called fight the ship. You have to understand how a combatant as a system works. And you also have to learn when the enemy gets a vote. When you're in combat and things start blowing up, you have to know the system well enough that you can revert on damage control and do other things. You've seen this if you've ever watched some of the war films about Navy ships. Elon's engineering brain is doing the same thing. OMB memo is to find out where the cash is, how much percentage of it's out there, and where does it go. And he goes to the railhead, then back to Treasury that actually writes the checks. And, in Trump's version of the world, hey, the way you control a company is control the checkbook. You don't sign any checks. That you can slow down payments. You can stretch out. You can make vendors a permanent part of your capital structure. People do that all the time in restructurings, right? I'll give you 10% now. You got to stretch your payments out. If vendors want to keep selling stuff, they have to do it. It hurts them, but hey, that's just the life. And if everybody in the audience knows that, you run a small business. But at the end of the day, the appropriations bill is a law. It's a law for a reason. It's statutory. Everybody, they vote on it, they negotiate it for a year, they allocate it, and it goes into first a Treasury where the payments go, then OMB had to manage it, had to look at it. But it's a law. President Trump's theory of the case, and Mark Paoletta, and Jeff Clark, and Russ Vogt, three guys have been on the show a lot, have this theory of the case of impoundment. And their theory of the case of impoundment, like in the Green New Scam, when President Trump signs his executive order and say the Green New Scam is over, right? That the $300 billion they're saying, they remember the headline of Financial Times, $300 billion, President Trump can grab that because the $1 trillion was a ceiling, and he can, in the unified theory of the executive, as chief executive, he can make a determination and give me that money, and I'm going to reallocate that to Tom Homan, et cetera. The hemispheric, and you send Rubio the first time to Panama, he's got a 30-minute meeting. And the guy walks out, the president walks out to the stick, says, I'm out of One Belt, One Road. And we told you, they pulled the contract yesterday. They began to pull the contract from Hutchison Whampoa, the huge trading company in Hong Kong that runs the port of Hong Kong and runs the port of Panama. They're throwing him out. He's taken that in Greenland. We had Tom Danzer, a very moving ceremony yesterday, laying the wreath on the door where the Dorchester sank with the 4 chaplains, 2 Protestants, a Catholic, and I'll throw in a rabbi. Right? Sank out there in the North Atlantic, freezing to death immediately with hypothermia on a merchant marine ship. So in Greenland, you've got the extension of Fortress America, the extension of 2.0. If you add the island chains in the Pacific, you've hermetically sealed the United States, throw on top of it an Iron Dome, and we're good to go. In Ukraine, Zelensky, who used one of the crudest terms, and I've been known to throw out a couple of crude terms. I got it. I'm an Irishman and a naval officer. Sometimes it just slips. And I run a little hot sometimes. One of the crudest descriptions for Tucker Carlson. What has Tucker Carlson done? Stood up for his nation and want to know where the grift is. And this is a guy on Piers Morgan, comes yesterday. On Piers Morgan, and Zelensky's sitting there and says this crude thing about Tucker Carlson on the day after he told the Associated Press, I only got $77 billion. I don't know what Marjorie Taylor Greene and Bannon and all these guys are whining about. What are they talking about? I only got $77 billion. I know you allocated 179, but hey, I don't know. I just got 77. It's an open secret in this city. It's an open secret with the CIA. It's an open secret in New York and the city of London that they've been stealing with both hands. Open secret. They're stealing with both hands. And right now, we're a little too bogged down in that. I'm not going to address Gaza because it's about focus and about opportunity costs. And if we've got a shredder we're going into, here's the shredder. It's not simply the reconciliations bills. The reconciliation bills are trying to accomplish things and do things that are good to haves, and actually saying the tax thing, yes, nice to, you have to have, as Scott Besson says. However, we have something fundamental that nobody wants to talk about. And now I'm seeing inside the conference because we're hammering it. On the 14th of March at midnight, the government's out of money again.
We're getting close,
It doesn't
guys.
matter if Elon's over there, he's got the checkbook, or he's got insurance, he's finally gotten back, he's gone to OMB for where it's allocated, and then gone back to the thing, got the checkbook. Just stopping them writing checks that's not cutting spending. That's just slowing it down. I kind of dig it in one aspect of it. It puts them on notice your money just can't flow. However, midnight on the 14th is the moment of decision. We're either in or we're out.
Guys, it's getting close, guys. And I want to show you what's about to happen next, because this is big. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, guys. We literally have almost 1,200 people watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, guys, it really helps. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, check this out. So Pam Bondi, first day in, says any Justice Department attorney who declines to sign a brief, refuses to advance good faith arguments on behalf of the Trump administration, or otherwise delays or impedes the Justice Department's mission will be subject to discipline and potentially termination. They are not slowing down, guys. And not only that, right now, the Democrats are trying to do what? Number one, they want to try to impeach Trump. They want to try to do a government shutdown, but they're trying to subpoena Elon Musk to testify before Congress right now. But guess what? It was denied. Listen to this.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving oversight. Byron Donalds. General Perry, say hey to everybody.
Hey, what's up, brother?
I'll give y'all a cameo. Anyway, we're leaving. Members of the press. Which way we going, brother?
And if you didn't know, this is Representative Tim Burchett.
Anyway, just leaving oversight. A little bit of a dust up, I'd call it. The Democrats trying to subpoena Elon Musk, and he voted against it. It just all they're trying to do is slow the work of Doge down, and currently with it, like, they're pitching a fit about USAID. And dadgum, if I can go to Colombia and see a taxpayer-funded transgender opera, what the heck is this world coming to? Look, you're seeing all the fits being thrown on this stuff, and you should follow the dadgum money, because always they have a family member or a friend, or I'd like to say a wife and or girlfriend that's drawing a check from one of these bogus organizations. You don't spend $60 million eradicating rats. It goes somewhere in somebody's pocket. We just got to start paying better attention. Thank y'all for sitting here.
Guys, I'm telling you, one thing I like about Tim Burchett is not only is he from Tennessee, but he tells it. He'll give these videos of things that just happened as they just happened as he's walking out of the congressional rooms, guys. And that's why, again, I love to bring you the breaking news of what's happened. But again, too, other stuff that's happened. Right now, Mike Johnson, he's got a lot of stuff on his plate, guys, and he gives us an update because the Democrats are fighting him hard on a government shutdown. Listen to this.
Or something, I don't know. I want to start this morning by addressing a few things we've heard this week from our Democrat colleagues. It's been pretty surprising. Here's a few quotes. Shut down the city. We are at war. We're going to fight it in the streets, it was said. This is what the beginning of a dictatorship looks like. This is their reaction to the flurry of activity that's come out of the new administration, and the president is doing exactly what he said on the campaign trail that he is going to do, would do, and he's delivering on that, and we're a big part of that, and we're going to do it as well. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party truly is seemingly lost. They have no rudder, they have no vision, they have no clear leader. The only message they have is anti-President Trump, and we've all seen that that's a failed strategy time after time. And it's not just rhetoric. I mean, this week, Democratic leadership sent a letter to their members that you all saw that the media characterized as a war plan to take on President Trump. In the letter, the Democrats laid out the foundation for a government shutdown. That's their plan, to stop President Trump. And the question we're all asking is, why do they want to stop him? Is it because President Trump is working to bring more oversight to USAID for its mismanaged spending? Is it because he's using the threat of tariffs to negotiate with trade partners and secure our borders? Is it because Doge is looking at contracts and helping to carry out President Trump's promises of making government more efficient? By laying the foundation for a shutdown in the way that they are, the Democrats are changing their tune on government shutdowns. Remember, they're the ones that are apoplectic all the time about the terrible harm that it would exact on the country. But because President Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do, they've changed their tune. And I think you all should be asking them about that change of heart and the hypocrisy that is just on open display. When President Trump said he would unleash American energy dominance and reduce the size of the government and deport dangerous illegal aliens and make American communities safe again, he meant what he said, and that's what we're seeing. He made campaign promises, and now he's moving at a quick pace to deliver on them. What a concept. As I said in an interview yesterday morning, I think it was, that I think it's demonstrably true that President Trump has now done more for the American people in his first 2 weeks than his predecessor did in all 4 years. And that's going to continue. And in Congress, we're going to work, and we are working now, to codify that America First agenda through legislative action. You heard two examples of that here. What we'll be doing this week is continuing our efforts to protect American communities by voting on the Halt Fentanyl Act, which will permanently schedule fentanyl and all fentanyl-related substances as Schedule I narcotics. Why is that important? Because it empowers law enforcement to seize those deadly drugs and go after their producers and distributors and stop the flow. It is an unspeakable tragedy that has now gone on for over 4 years. We have more than 200 Americans lose their lives every single day on average to fentanyl. And it's a crisis that demands our immediate action, and that's what the president is doing, that's what we're doing. The Halt Fentanyl Act builds on President Trump's efforts from earlier this week to secure our border, southern and northern borders, and keep illicit drugs out. And Republicans are taking decisive, strong, and immediate action to rid American communities of this poison. Elections have sometimes very positive consequences, and that's what you're seeing here. Meanwhile, we're also going to unleash American energy dominance. The Protecting American Energy Production Act is so important because President Biden and his administration clearly waged a war on American-made energy, particularly oil and gas producers, and we're going to make sure this doesn't happen again. So we passed this legislation, and no future administration will be able to put a halt on fracking, which produces so much of the energy in this country. It has to be protected. House Republicans are delivering on our promises, and there is a lot more to come. I'm sure you have a few questions this morning, so we'll do that. Let's start in front row.
Can you address this situation that President Trump is suggesting moving into Gaza? Is that an America First policy to send American soldiers into one of the most volatile regions in the world, and then suggest that the U.S. take control of a region that it has no claim to?
Look, there'll be more details forthcoming on that, of course. The initial announcement yesterday, I think, was greeted by surprise by many, but cheered by, I think, people all around the world. Why? Because that area is so dangerous, and he's taking bold, decisive action to try to ensure the peace of that region. It's a bold move, certainly, far bolder than what's been done before, but I think we've got to stand unequivocally in an unwavering manner, as the whip said, with Israel, our closest ally and friend in the Middle East. And I think if we could bring control of that situation and bring about a lasting peace there, it would do well for everybody, not just in the region, but around the world. It's a volatile place. And I think the strong and decisive move is an important step in that regard. As was noted earlier, Prime Minister Netanyahu being the first international leader to meet with the president in the White House is more than symbolism, but it is a symbol. And it shows the world that we're not going to equivocate. The previous administration did that. They tried to appease Iran and by extension, its proxies, terrorists, and they frankly encumbered Israel in so many times. You're seeing a reversal of that now. That is very important development. I think our allies around the world appreciate that. I know because I talked to lots of leaders around the world, and they've been very nervous about the instability there. I think this could be a bold step in that regard. So let's withhold judgment on all of it. You'll see more developments as they come.
Guys, let me tell you this. It's beautiful that the leadership is not only taking decisive action, but it's also making sure that people are held accountable. Because it's breaking news, guys. Something just broke, and this is amazing what I'm about to tell you. Want to say thank you, Wise Old Wolf. First time super chat. Let's go. He said, Trump rocks, the Dems don't know where to turn. And then what's new with the super chat? Thank you so much. He said, my President Trump is doing exactly what I voted for him to do. Exactly. Y'all show what's new and Wise Old Wolf some love in the chat. So guys, this is per leading report, USAID has provided Politico with $8.2 million in funding since 2019. Can you believe this? Taxpayer dollars. Guys, this is one of the most left-leaning outlets, news outlets out there. Can you believe this? On top of that, listen to this, because this just broke. President Trump calls for an investigation to find out who in the government has been receiving kickbacks from USAID. Let's go. Pam Bondi, she's got a lot of work to do. She's got a lot on her plate. But I'll tell you this, Trump is not stopping. He wants to hold people accountable, and he wants to make sure that things get done, and the American people know the truth of where our hard-earned taxpayer dollars have been going. And something else is happening, guys, I'm telling you. Elon Musk is fighting like nobody's business. Listen to this. This post came earlier today. Somebody put, I didn't vote for Elon Musk and his autistic tech bros to get a line item veto on federal spending. And then he puts this, who are these little boys and why are they in charge of our money? And it's so funny because these guys, you've had, these 50, 60-year-old people running these government, federal treasury and whatnot, and we haven't saved a dime. Not a dime. All we've been doing is spending. Elon Musk and his guys get in there, and then they're starting to save America $1 billion plus a day. Well, Elon Musk came out and said, this is a great line. Yeah, well, I didn't vote for Joe Biden's non-binary deep state theater kids to get a blank check to give my tax dollars to fringe left-wing NGO slush funds for years. But that's exactly what happened. It's so amazing the amount of fight that's happening between Americans' freedom and our tax dollars compared to the deep state. I want to say thank you so much, everybody. We literally got over 1,400 people watching. If you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, guys. It really does help out so much. We really appreciate your support. Guys, listen to this because we're getting more and more from the Doge team, and it's beautiful what is happening. Check this out.
Yeah. They got exposed for billions and billions in waste, and then they lash out at the guy that exposed them. And you know what? There's not one American that I think would ever vote to spend the money that we're putting up on that screen. We'll continue to scroll it.
Finally, we have a president who is willing to go into the federal bureaucracy in the executive branch and cut out this garbage. For so many years, the federal government has been hijacked by activists, liberal leftist activists who have been taking the hard-earned tax dollars of Americans all over the country and laundering it through these woke projects that they think that they are entitled to. And this isn't about aid to certain countries. This isn't about trying to help people around the world for the left. It's about them losing their grip on power. Without this money laundering scheme of taxpayer money, they have nothing. They don't know where to go from there. Bernie Sanders is a perfect example of someone who just wants to take and talk about the billionaires, who's never had a private paycheck in his entire life. Elon Musk is someone who has built multiple companies by creating thousands of jobs and signing the front of a paycheck, not just the back, from the taxpayer. And they can't stand that they are now seeing their projects going away because it's about their ideology. This is a way for them to implement their ideology through these federal government agencies that have not seen any auditing or accountability before. And so it's about the takers and the makers, and the left is losing their grip on their power that they've had in a number of areas. I mean, look at the border. The border is out of control, or was out of control, for a number of reasons, but mainly that NGOs were getting taxpayer funding to traffic people all over the country, millions of people. That is ending, and the grift is ending, and American taxpayers are getting control of their money, given that the federal government is taking in more of their taxes today than they ever have in the history of the country. And Democrats demand that Americans go to work and pay more for these woke projects.
I'm so happy for this, guys.
Jason, I'd love your take on getting lectured about intelligence by AOC, the guy that created SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, and is about to rescue astronauts lost in space. Really?
Yeah.
I find that amusing.
Yeah, you know what I love about Elon Musk? He's living rent-free in all of their minds. That was quite an accomplishment. And AOC calling him unintelligent, the most unintelligent billionaire.
Wow.
Didn't she buy a Tesla? She did. She drives a Tesla because it's a great car.
But, you know, what's amazing about them, look at where the Democrats spend their time and energy. They go absolutely apoplectic in front of an empty building, yelling and screaming because the American government is not going to give the American taxpayer dollars away to foreign countries fast enough. That's really what they're complaining about. This is not money that's going to Americans. This is not going to help, you know, the fire victims. This is not going to the Helene victims. This is not going to build Maui. This is money that's going out there. In 2023, AID spent $68 billion. Part of that was they sent out 69 million condoms. That's what AID is doing. And this is what the Democrats think is just going to destroy the country.
Constitutional
part
crisis.
of me is laughing, and a part of me wants to cry, because that's money we're stealing from our kids.
Yeah.
All right, Katie and Jason, good to see you both. Thank you.
Guys,
all right,
let me tell you this. What bothers me the most is that a lot of people don't even think twice about this. A lot of people don't even think twice about money coming out of their paycheck every week because it happens automatically. But that is your money that the United States should be taking care of you and your interest, making sure that it's being used in a good way. And whenever you saw that huge list going down, like, it just makes you think there are so many seniors that are living on less than $1,000 a month on Social Security. But yet we got these millions and billions of dollars that we're sending over to other countries. That's what makes me mad. And what I love too is that we got so many representatives like what you're about to see that are coming in and they're smacking the Democrats in Congress. Not physically, metaphorically. Check this out.
We all now know USAID. They're screaming about Elon Musk over there, but hey, George Soros and his boy are okay. You know, they scream that we're all a threat to democracy when they've been systematically dismantling democracy before our eyes. They've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and there's no going back. So I would tell my colleagues across the other side of the aisle, take your salty tears and sit right back down. USAID has long strayed from its mission to effectively and efficiently administer aid to advance American interests.
They have. It's all been collusion, guys. And what I love is that there's a lot of stuff happening with the Middle East that Trump is taking care of. He put out this post earlier. He said, this was super early, guys. I want Iran to be a great, successful country, but one that cannot have a nuclear weapon. Reports that the United States, working in conjunction with Israel, is going to blow Iran into smithereens, are greatly exaggerated. I would prefer a verified nuclear peace agreement which will let Iran peacefully grow and prosper. We should start working on it immediately and have a big Middle East celebration when it is signed and completed. God bless the Middle East. Again, guys, I love it. I love that we're constantly seeing just Trump taking the lead, making sure to not do things in such a way that is always war, 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 but to bring peace. And what I love is that we have so much transparency from his cabinet. So his special counsel, who gives us an insight to this, check this out.
This idea that people were kind of spitballing throughout the day, how did this idea come together?
There's nobody better at making a deal than the man who wrote The Art of the Deal. That's the truth, Jesse. Listen, he wants one thing, and that's the art of peace. I think that should be his next chapter. And this is a big step towards that. There is nobody who will be better, as we've seen. And just look at what he's done since we've been in. It's been so fast and so rapid that even the left-wing media can't keep up with how much good we're doing. And that's what we need in America. We're going to help. We're going to have collaborative help. We're going to do things such as tell people that we will tariff you if you're taking advantage of America. And then we will work together, because the end result and the end goal is one thing. And that's the truth, Jesse. And this is something we've talked about ad nauseum every day since we've gotten in. Let's make the world better by making America stronger. And we've seen that that works, and it works under President Trump. And there's only really one person that could have done this, and that's the president himself.
Well, the Democrats have been crazy about freezing foreign aid. This would unleash some considerable foreign aid, rebuilding Gaza. Do you think that this is something that maybe the Democrats could agree to?
I think they should if they care about world peace. I think they should if they care about stop spending 70, however much money they're spending on DEI plays and operas in Colombia. We've seen $50 million to Gaza for condoms that they're using for bombs. We're seeing all kinds of spending being cut. So why not spend that money on protecting people in the world who have been persecuted and prosecuted, much like President Trump, who are going to be given a safe haven. And while they do, let's take that.
Guys, just want to say thank you so much for your support. We literally got almost 1,600 people watching. Guys, I really appreciate you. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, guys, it really does help out so much.
Let's strip and let's make it great again. Let's make the world great again by making America great again. And that's what President Trump is doing. He is literally using this position to do as much good as humanly possible, not just for America, but for humanity. And the left spin that you're talking about, you and I know it well. It's a panic. It's a frantic a grasp for air so that they can twist and turn all the good that he is doing. But America sees what it is. They had a mandate on November 5th. It was clear. They wanted peace. They wanted strength. They want peace through strength. And that is what President Trump's going to do, not just for us, but for everybody. And I think this is a clear signal of that.
Yeah.
He used the same play to seduce little Rocket Man. He said, just put the missiles away. We could build beautiful housing in the Korean Peninsula. We don't need to fight each other. We can all live happily. It's the same thing here. Do you think these countries are going to go for it? Some of these people in Gaza, he might want to have go to Egypt or Jordan.
I think we should look at what's happened already. I think facts speak very loudly, and I like to speak in fact. Maybe it's the lawyer in me, but let's look at what happened with Colombia. Let's look at what happened with Mexico. Let's look at what happened with Canada. Our facts speak louder than anything else. And the history of this administration in the past few weeks, only a few weeks, speak louder than words, and that is strength. We are going to make the world better. We really are. Maybe it should be make the world better again and great again. But that is what we're working at. It's not just about America. When America is strong, everybody wants to get on board. And we're seeing that. Now, maybe we have to say we're going to tariff you, we'll sanction you. If you don't behave of it yourself, if you take advantage of our economics, if you bring fentanyl into our country, which is what they're doing, it's a fentanyl crisis right now, we're not going to let you kill our people. And we're not going to let you kill other people that are innocent. And that's what President Trump is standing for, what's righteous, what's good, and what's clean. And I think that that's unfortunately going to upset some bureaucrats that were making money off of this regime in the last administration. But those days are long gone.
All right. Well, Alina's already looking at land in the Mediterranean. It's a hot market. You want to get in now. Get in while you can.
Guys, let me tell you this. It's beautiful, guys. I love it. And I want to show you because, again, guys, we are living through history of what is happening. This is President Trump's post to about Pam Bondi. He said, congratulations to our wonderful and very talented United States Attorney General Pam Bondi, who gets sworn in today amid tremendous support and the respect of all. I know Pam well, and it was an honor to appoint her, and my prediction is that she will go down as one of the best and most consequential attorney generals in the history of our country. Congratulations, Pam. Make America great again. How beautiful is that? And guys, look, I showed you earlier. This is so powerful. Attorney General Pam Bondi just ordered the Justice Department to freeze all funding for sanctuary cities and has instructed attorneys to begin prosecuting officials preventing ICE from doing their job. Guys, it's just day one, and she's already laying the smackdown. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. So what these damn Neanderthals don't look at, in the long run, all that President Trump is doing is going to benefit all of us. 100% love it. Y'all show Lay some love in the chat. Guys, let me tell you this. We didn't really show you a lot about from the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, previously, just because she never really said anything. But guys, listen to this. This is Caroline Leavitt is going to go down as one of the best White House press secretaries ever. Listen to this.
Thank you, Caroline. Are any officials here preparing to fight Democratic lawmakers in the streets?
Absolutely not.
So
Thanks for the question.
Some elected Democrats are so steamed about Doge. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver says we are at war. Ilhan Omar says we might actually see somebody get killed. And Chris Van Hollen says we have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. So what now?
And may I just point out, if you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts of this federal government and ensure it's accountable to American taxpayers. That's all that is happening here. And for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that rhetoric.
It sounds like something that they're most concerned about is Doge engineers with access to Treasury systems. Can you clarify, do the Doge engineers have read-only access in these systems, so they are not allowed to write new code? No. They are not. Okay. No. And then one more thing. NBC is reporting that some of the illegal immigrants that we've seen rounded up and arrested are not being deported. They're being released with ankle or wrist monitoring devices, or they have to check in on the phone. So is the administration arresting more people than you have room for?
I have seen the reports, and I'm glad you brought it up because we want to address it. There have been a total of 461 illegal aliens. This is of this morning when I got this information from DHS that have been released from custody. Of the more than 8,000 that have been arrested since President Trump was inaugurated, it's less than 6%. And there are reasons for their release. Some of the factors include a lack of significant likelihood of removal in the foreseeable future, lack of detention availability, which is something this president and this administration has been incredibly vocal about. We are doing everything we can to deport and detain illegal immigrants, but we need Congress's help to increase funding for Border Patrol and for ICE to increase detention capability in our facilities. And then other serious medical conditions have also been the reasons for some of the release of these individuals. But none of them have final deportation orders. Many of them are probably contesting their immigration status. I'd refer you to DHS for more details, but I did get that information because I knew it'd be a question. So thank you. Sure.
Guys, let me tell you this. That we know now that back in Texas, Texas Governor Abbott has given the Trump administration a large portion of land to house a lot of these illegal immigrants before they get deported, because they know, guys, when you're talking about 10, 12, 15 million people, that's a lot of people. We got football stadiums that barely hold 40, 50,000. But how do you do it in a way where they're separated and it's secure and nothing crazy is happening? Guys, I'm telling you, they're going to need a lot of money. They're going to need a lot of help. And John Kennedy is really fighting this, guys. He put this out in 2023. This is so much waste. The federal government burned $1.3 billion by writing checks to dead people. So he has a bill that he's trying to push through that will eliminate that, guys. We're not talking million. We're talking billion with a B. Thank you so much, Running Wild, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, come on, Trump, let's go. I love America and our president. I love it. Y'all show Running Wild some love in the chat. But what I love, guys, is that, again, we're seeing little by little. Guys, we're only like 2 weeks in, and how much we are seeing where Trump is using not just himself, but other people to get a lot of things done. It's beautiful. Listen to this.
Everything should be put aside right now for the next 30 days. And Elon should sit down with the president. I understand you're doing all this stuff and running around shutting down the FBI, and God bless you. We need it. However, the main thing is to make sure that, and we should have this debate, if it's going to be if we don't have the political will and the votes to cut it, then let's just have an adult conversation. Then we got to figure out how to finance it. But right now we're kidding ourselves. And this is why you're seeing Byron Donalds, and this is why you're seeing Eli Crane and Andy Biggs and the same guys. And Byron Donalds gets it. He's going to run for governor of Florida. He wants to be part of a team that got something done in the House. Dave Brad.
Yeah, well, that's the main point right there. It's back when I came in with Paul Ryan and Speaker, and I assumed these guys had a plan. There was no plan. And so now, why is Elon, all the pressure's on Elon for this trillion, because the House and the Senate have totally failed. And the American people are starting to see right now, with these stories converging, Barrasso and Lindsey Graham versus the Speaker, Mike Johnson, in this debate over the one big, beautiful bill. How in the world do we not have our ducks in a row, right? The left is planning to come after us. Schumer's going bananas right now. MSNBC's blowing up. The time will come when they attack, and we're not ready to go. I mean, we're doing great work right now. But the House and the Senate aren't responsible for any of it. Joni Ernst wrote an article yesterday, was in an article yesterday. She's scared of USAID. She says they're coming after her. The USAID is threatening her.
Oh, stop. What do you mean USAID is threatening her? What does that mean?
$50 billion. They said you can't look to a U.S. senator. You can't look at these contracts. You can't look at this classified stuff because you might leak it. They work for her, right? And so this is the problem. This is the House and the Senate have been letting this go on for 20 years. And now it's all coming out, right? And so the House and the Senate are going to look really bad as this news emerges. And so getting back to your egg thing, right? This inflation and eggs are up. It's total gaslighting, right? Prices went up 22% under the Biden regime. Inflation's 3% this year, so prices are up 25% over the past 5 years. 25% out of your retirement account, by the way. Not just eggs. Your retirement account is worth 25% less. That has not sunk into the average American person yet. And so
it sank into the BRICS.
Yeah.
This is why they tried to bind together to have a gold based. And President Trump said, hey, look, I love the BRICS, 100% terrorists if you keep messing around with the dollar, right?
And people are getting confused about the causes of inflation. Friedman had it right. It's always when you print $9 trillion M2, you're going to get inflation. It's money printing.
Explain that.
Yep. Yeah. So
what's M2?
M2 is the amount of money in your economy, right? And so if you print way too much money, you're supposed to print the percent change of GDP growth. Skip the details here, though. What matters is people think government spending causes inflation. It does not. It appears to, because every time we spend government spending is $2 trillion, the Federal Reserve comes in and accommodates it. That's the big word for the day when it comes to the Fed. The Federal Reserve accommodates the spending so that interest rates don't go through the roof. That is not really their job, right? They're not supposed to be accommodating and making it easy for our government to run $2 trillion deficits. But when you have the uniparty and no congressional oversight from the House and the Senate, again, I repeat myself, for the past 30 years, the Fed gets us into the 07-08 financial crisis, creates the Tea Party movement. That leads into this populist movement that's international in scope. Trump is clearing the field right now. The left is apoplectic. But it all comes down to this $36 trillion in debt. That's $36 trillion. Where do you see that in our economy? What's that $36 trillion in debt done for you, as Steve says every day? Where do you see it? Do you see it in the cities? Do you see it in human capital? Do you see it anywhere? It's crowding out our ability to do anything.
Okay. Guys, let me tell you this. We are seeing change happening so much, guys. I'm telling you, I'm busting butt over here trying to get you the top news, breaking news. But it's hard right now because there's so much happening. But I love it, guys. So much winning happening. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. Thank you to all of our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind, guys, clicking the thumbs up like button, it really does help get our videos out there and grow the TrueLife News family, guys. The YouTube algorithms love it, and that's why I'm doing it now, because I want to grow this channel, guys. I want to grow this community, and I just appreciate all your support. Thank you to all of our members of the channel. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description to join. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Remember, we take this money and the membership money and we give it to charity once a month. And we do it live on stream so that you see that I'm actually giving money. And you see it on the screen as I do it. And what it shows, guys, it shows that I want us to be a giving community. And y'all are amazing givers. We do this because we want to bring positive change in this world. I want this channel, TrueLife News, to be known one day as one of the most giving channels out there, helping to make this world a better place. But I want to give some love to Wise Old Wolf. What's new? Virginia Friday, Lay Lewis, Running Wild. Y'all show them some love in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for your support. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.